Yo, welcome to BossCowboySports. It's your host, Boss Show Me. You understand? It's super important that you got people that's showing their work. Now, this one, I gotta say this is super important. And I gotta say, Brian Schottenheimer is hitting all the notes. And I would say 6 key notes that he is perfectly out the box. And I'm talking about stuff I've been wanting to see for years. Stuff some of y'all been wanting to see for years. He's doing it. So this is a show me channel. So this is where I'm gonna show my work, right? And I'm gonna show y'all the evidence of it, right? So obviously one of the most important things that I did is I did a show before training camp. And I said this was the most important show to protect Brian's culture of competition that he was clear on. So I'm listening. I'm because he's been consistent that this is my culture. How did he do? And how is he doing? I would say right now he even stronger. Listen to him.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. You had said back at the league meetings that no jobs are being handed out. You have the compete every day mantra. How competitive do you expect this camp to be compared to years past?
Well, hopefully it's the most competitive practice that I've been around. Otherwise, I'd be disappointed in my messaging and getting that across to the guys. I think what makes it, Nick, that competitive is the pieces that we've added. You know, you look at our roster from top to bottom and we filled in a lot of blanks. I mean, we've added some really good football players and through free agency, through getting our guys back. And then, of course, the fact that that's the mantra and the mindset is we're going to compete in everything that we do. I would be very, very disappointed if it wasn't an extremely competitive deal. We're going to move guys around. That's part of playing the game. You know, no one should be given a spot. You know, we need to push Dak. We need to push Tyler Booker. You know, around. That's part of playing the game. You know, no one competitive deal. We're going to move guys around. That's part of playing the game. You know, no one should be given a spot. You know, we need to push Dak. We need to push Tyler Booker. You know, there's guys like that, you know, people think, well, he's enshrined in that spot. Yeah, I mean, he's got the lead, but he's not been named the starter yet. We got a shit ton of football to play before we make any final decisions.
Whew. That's the strongest I've ever heard him talk about competition. He included Dak. He included Booker. He said we got a lot of football before we make any final decisions. This was the strongest note that I've ever heard him hit in terms of his dedication to a culture of competition. Naming names. You hit that note, sir. And see, I noticed something though. Notice how I started.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. You had said back at the league meetings that no jobs are being handed out. You have the compete every day mantra. Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. First one's for Brian. You said in Florida that no jobs are being given out on this team. Tyler Booker, is it as easy as throwing him in the right guard competition? Telegram. You had said back at the league meetings that no jobs are being handed out. You have the compete every day mantra. How competitive do you expect this camp to be compared to Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. First one's for Brian. You said in Florida that no jobs are being given out on this team. Tyler Booker, is it as easy as...
What a coincidence. Or is it? Did y'all notice what I noticed? Nick asked the same question.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. First one's for Brian. You said in Florida that no jobs are being given out on this team. Tyler Booker is in his Forward Star Telegram. You had said back at the league meetings that no jobs are being handed out. You have the compete every day mantra.
So when I was in the sales program, they would train us on speaking, right? And they always said, you want to make sure you have some planted questions out there that's gonna make you look good, or that's go allow you to get out the key thing that you want out. Could that be what's happening? Because we got the exact same question.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. You had said back at the league meetings that no jobs are being handed out. You have the compete every day mantra. How competitive? Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. First one's for Brian. You said in Florida that no jobs are being given out on this team. Tyler Booker, is it as easy as throwing?
So do we really think he did that by accident? Maybe Nick just wanted to ask the same, but Nick is a trained, professional, educated North Texas grad. It makes me wonder. And I am very serious. I think this is something that Schotty wanted out, so that he can have a chance to hit the note that sets the tone to be anti the Our Guys philosophy. Yeah. The pick 'em, if you pick 'em, you got to play 'em.
That's the most important thing, is if you pick them, you got to use them.
It kind of remind me of Mike McCarthy. Do y'all remember when Michael Gelkin asked him about those option routes, and then he was like, "Oh, I like that question. Now we get to talk a little bit of ball. I've never been a fan of these option routes." Ooh, wow. What a perfect layup option route question. Nah, I think we dealing with some smart coaches. I think we dealing with some people who trying to shape the environment, who knows there's a philosophy in the way, and that's intelligent on how to fight against it.
That's the most important thing, is if you pick them, you got to use them.
So that he can hit the note. And yes, sir, you did. The second note. Because this note was super important to me, because I believe that the Our Guys philosophy is the biggest thing in the way. But the other note that's in the way, or not in the way, that's good news. This is for Coach Marv.
Guys, veteran players like that, this is going to be a physical-ass camp. And so we want to shore up certain areas that are in the trenches doing those things, and excited to get him out here. He's got a big learning curve.
That's number 2. See, because I know the people that I labor amongst. I know what's important to them. I know what they preach. I know what they believe. I know Coach Marv. And I also stand with Coach Marv on this after doing research on Kansas City. When I start seeing Kansas City and how tough their camp is, and how they take millionaires and put them in college dorms during their training camp. Nothing exotic. They take them back to their humble beginnings. And their training camp is the most physical camp in the NFL. But yet, they're the ones consistently going to the Super Bowl. So I understand why this is Coach Marv's biggest point. But once again, Brian Schottenheimer hit the note. Now you got to show me, but you singing right. You are singing right. Number 3.
The offense seemed like there were a lot more pre-snap motions and things. Can you talk about the little things that you're doing differently with the offense than last year?
Yeah, I don't like to play static. I think, being static as an offense makes it easier on the defense. These defenses, you listen to our defense out there, Clarence, the way they communicate is elite. And so if we just line up in a certain formation, we kind of let them see things, it's easy for them to not only make their calls, their closed right or left calls, moving their front, setting their fronts, but actually there's tendencies. Everybody goes into a game defensively with tendencies that in this personnel grouping, in this.
You know who this is right here? I'm going to tell you, that's Sky. Because, see, I know who've been preaching this stuff. You know what I mean? And listen, everybody is getting what they want. Everybody know Boss is culture guy. That's the doctrine I preach. Everybody know that. At least you've been watching my content. I'm big on and big against our guys. Everybody know Coach Marv is big on physical training camps. Everybody know Sky was super loud on motion, pre-snap motion, at-snap motion. I know what he say. Now, as a defensive YouTuber, I will say that I do know that eventually defenses do catch up to your tendencies. But the good news is that Brian is new, so he has no tendencies that teams have found on his style of motion. They don't know what he gonna do. So you can't catch up to what you didn't see. So guess what? Everybody is getting what they wanted. All of us.
Tommy Yarsh, DallasCowboys.com. Saw a little bit of Dak under center too yesterday. Maybe all the quarterbacks really under center more. In a league where
that's Henny and Okoye thing. See, I know the people. I know what they preach, bro. Henny and Okoye real big on put Dak under center.
Seems like shotgun is kind of the formation you typically see offensively. Why is it important to keep that in and keep that mixed in when a lot of the college guys coming in too are used to that shotgun style?
Yeah, there's a number of things. Obviously, the balance of what you can do, both gun and under. We have both. There's a ton of tells when you're in the shotgun based off the back's location. If the back's offset weak, if the back's offset strong, there's tells. Dak feels like he's back at Mississippi State a little bit, playing under center.
See, that's Okoye now. See. I can see Okoye right now. That's him. I swear, I know. If I called Okoye right now, he'd say, yep.
That's really the main reason. We want to be multiple. You know that. We're going to be multiple. We're going to be difficult to defend because we're going to be under center. We're going to be in the gun. You haven't seen pistol yet, but pistol's coming for all of our opponents that are listening to me talk right now.
Don't give it away. You're giving away too much.
Be some pistol. There'll be some wildcat.
Ooh, see, that's a clue. That's a big clue because they ain't running no damn wildcat with that. What does that tell you? To me, I might be wrong, but that tells me Joe Milton is getting ready to play. They gonna have some packages for Joe Milton, dog. We finna have a Drew Brees, Taysom Hill. I see, man. You can't say that because I know I put it together. Because anybody with common sense know you ain't running no wildcat with the injuries that Dak has added up and a hamstring. That gotta be about a vision of using Joe Milton.
So again, we're gonna be multiple and we're gonna attack people, and our system's built to do that.
Sing, sir. Sing, sir. I'm talking about hitting all the notes, killing it. He over here like Whitney Houston. I'm talking about hitting the hell out them notes. All the things we've been wanting. All of us been wanting these things. All of us have been crying about these things. We've been putting different emphasis on different things, but these are the notes that Cowboy Nation, and especially, and I'm gonna be honest, the YouTube community, we've been crying for this stuff, and we getting this all under one guy. Now you still gotta show me, but I like the sound. I like the sound that's coming out your mouth. You gotta show me though. You still gotta show me. But I like that you are consistently saying this too. This ain't something he made up. This is something he been saying for a while. Number 5.
The way we started from not just stretch with the music, but going through the bags and everything's being.
Hold on real quick. Let me go back.
Pat Doney, NBC BFW. Brian, you've talked about wanting to have the best culture in all of pro sports, is what you said. The players were really excited about the energy in practice in the offseason. How do you maintain that through the dog days of training camp when we're here? And what do you think practices in the 5 here will feel like compared to what they've been like the last few years when you've been on the staff?
I think the biggest thing for me, number one, I really do believe that practice is what's going to separate us from the rest of the league. The way we practice, like that's how important we believe that.
See, let me tell you something. When you hear that, it sounds like talk. I'm going to be all the way honest. It sounds like all talk. I want to have the best practice in the world. You're like,
it is, and it's the energy and the way we started from not just stretch with the music, but going through the bags and everything's being evaluated, everything's being graded. There's going to be a winner and a loser in every period that we have, and that kind of makes it fun. But
see, it's one thing to hear it, but it's another thing when them lights come on and you can see it. It's something about when them lights come on and you can see that all the guys and all the men and all the coaches are getting together and showing excitement. Cause see, listen, I played ball, bro. Let me be all the way honest. A lot of times you don't feel like practicing. But I see the genius of what he's doing. He's thought through the details to try to make you want to practice. He makes you want to practice. So when you come to his practice, it's not just whistles that you hear. You go hear Future. You go hear beats. You gonna be crunk. You gonna be excited. But this is all about prep. Once again. And I'm talking about game prep. And this is a coach who's trying to think through the details to max out preparation. Once again. Hit the hell out that note. I'm being honest. Listen, I don't drink Kool-Aid unless it's measured, dog. And I'm showing y'all the receipts. See, it's one thing when you hear him say, yeah, you know, we got the bags and we got the music. No, it's one thing. It's one thing to hear it. It's one thing to see them practice. And when you watching and you can see the energy from the clips, we all been watching them training camp clips for years. You can see a different energy. You can. Like, and you know, sometimes we're gonna be like, we gotta wait and see. No, I ain't really gotta wait and see. I can use my common sense to say, this go work. This go work. The last one.
With Sorensen coming in, and now's a chance for the coaches to really perfect it. That's what you try to do. You look at you teach it in the starting point of phase 1, phase 2. You
teach it in phase 1.
Detail it in OTAs, and then
you detail it in OTAs.
Job is to perfect it as a coach and a player during training camp. And with Sorensen coming in.
Once again. See, I was listening to Aisha on Cover 3. And she was talking about, you know, from training camp, that you weren't seeing a lot of mistakes. Even though you were seeing mistakes, you were seeing less mistakes than usual. She was saying they must have a system in place. On Cover 3, she said this about 2 hours ago. She said they must have a system in place. Listen to Brian.
And then now's a chance for the coaches to really perfect it. That's what you try to do. You teach it in the starting point of phase 1, phase 2. You detail it in OTAs, and then your job is to perfect it as a coach and a player during training camp. With Sorensen coming in, and now's a chance for the coaches to really perfect it. That's what you try to do. You teach it in the starting point of phase 1, phase 2. You detail it in OTAs, and then your job is to perfect it as a coach and a player during training camp. With Sorensen coming in, and
so like I said, man, and I told y'all on a live that I just did. I just did a live, right? Where I was, breaking down the background of Mozzie. This is a good show. Y'all got to go watch it. I think it's a dope show. But I told y'all, I've observed so much in these training camps, I couldn't do it in one show. I literally got to break all this stuff down with all the receipts that I have into multiple shows. So y'all stay on the lookout, man. I'm going to be dropping also how they look like they really trying to put it all on deck. That might not be as positive of a show, but it's reality. So we go talk about the reality, but we go also talk about the fact that Pickens has passed the eye test. And listen, he's passed. So we go get into that, right? One of the most important things that a lot of people might not feel me on, but the offensive line might be the running back savior. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to get into that also with receipts, but it's about show me. And these videos are designed to show you. Listen, I don't drink Kool-Aid unless it's measured, and I wouldn't expect you to either. So hopefully y'all appreciate these videos. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you can continue to get more content like this. It's Boss Show Me. I'm out. Hit them notes, man. Good job, Brian. But show me.